Once again, very quickly, across Atlantic Canada, we've got tropical storm and hurricane warnings in effect, as well as a tropical storm watch for coastal portions of Labrador, mainly for the wind, as we go into later Saturday and Sunday. Storm surge warning up for most of Newfoundland's southern-facing shorelines, including the Bay St. George area, with the worst storm surge expected to be on the southwest coast around the Port aux Basques area. We've also got a rainfall warning in effect for the Port aux Basques area, for rainfall potentially exceeding 100 millimeters. We've got wind warnings up for much of western Newfoundland, from Gros Morne all the way down through Channel Port aux Basques and as far east as the Burin Peninsula. Winds in this area may gust as high as 120, higher for some areas of coastal western Newfoundland. And the Wreck House wind warning is in place as well for the day tomorrow, for winds in the Wreck House area potentially gusting as high as 160 or 180 kilometers per hour. This is from later tonight through the day on Saturday. As we take a look at the latest information now on Hurricane Fiona, Category 3. So we've downgraded one category, so the lower you go, the weaker the storm is, but still a very formidable storm. Even a Cat 1 or 2 packs a lot of power. Latest update from the National Hurricane Center is suggesting that the storm is undergoing what's called extratropical transition, meaning it's losing its tropical characteristics, it's gaining more mid-latitude cyclone characteristics. It's still going to be a very powerful hurricane force low as it comes ashore early tomorrow morning. Hopefully, I shouldn't say hopefully, but the forecasts indicate in portions of Nova Scotia, as that has been the forecast for the last couple of days. However, there is a however. I noticed this trend earlier, and I'm not sure if it's late or the tracks are changing a little bit or the forecast is a little bit off. But the storm has been a little bit east of the forecast track through most of this afternoon. And what bearing it's going to have on the forecast, I'm not entirely certain, but I'm beginning to get a little bit of clarity. So here is the latest forecast from the National Hurricane Center. That track, even from the last one, has moved a little bit farther east now, mainly right over Cape Breton Island and potentially over western Newfoundland as well, as the hurricane force extratropical cyclone. Very strong wind speeds outside of this forecast cone. Heavy rainfall as well. Parts of the maritime provinces may exceed 200 millimeters of rain. But what I want to share with you now is getting a little bit geeky here. So we're going to bring in some spaghetti plots, and this is actually a website called tropicaltidbits.com. And this was the forecast for Fiona's track earlier today. This was early this morning. Notice all those lines right over almost the Canso Causeway in Nova Scotia. Now we'll jump ahead 6 more hours. This was the forecast for about noon today. That's when that forecast came out. Notice how it was a little farther to the east, over the eastern side of Cape Breton Island. Those lines a little closer to western Newfoundland. And now we look at the latest forecast from 3, 4 o'clock this afternoon, and look at the lines. Almost east now of Cape Breton Island, closer to the west coast of Newfoundland, the southwest coast of Newfoundland. And there is certainly a big cluster there. So I'm not saying that the National Hurricane Center forecast is wrong. I'm saying we need to watch this closely. This oftentimes happens with these tropical systems. You can get these last-minute adjustments that are very small scale, but can have a very large impact. So we'll see where Fiona goes as we go into this evening. But if this trend continues, southwestern Newfoundland could potentially be in the game as far as the landfall is concerned, and that would be make the weather worse for Newfoundland and probably not quite as bad for portions of Nova Scotia if this ends up being the case. And again, if that's the case, we're still looking at this coastal flooding across southwestern Newfoundland. Perhaps it could be even worse than what I'm currently thinking. And right now I'm currently thinking it could be pretty bad. So I'm not trying to ring alarm bells or anything. I'm just kind of telling you what I'm seeing. And I will definitely be keeping a close eye on this tonight, and I'll be updating social media accordingly. Now, here is the wind gust forecast as we go into the overnight. Notice by tomorrow morning, those wind speeds in Port aux Basques gusting to 120, Burgeo just under 100. And as we go throughout the day tomorrow in the morning, most of us are going to see breezy conditions, but those wind speeds stay gusting over hurricane force in Port aux Basques almost all day tomorrow. And if that storm tracks any closer, we're going to see even higher wind speeds than that. And some of the wind speeds on here might be actually a little bit underdone for portions of southwestern and western Newfoundland. And there are the gusts tomorrow along the west coast, 80, 90, 100 kilometers per hour. I do suspect power outages tomorrow afternoon at some point for the west coast, northern peninsula potentially tomorrow night. Look at Cowhead early Sunday morning, winds gusting 105. And that core of high winds works onto the northern peninsula early Sunday morning and then offshore as we go into the day on Sunday. Now, most of us, again, are going to see winds gusting 80, 90, 100 kilometers per hour, even on the Avalon late tonight or tomorrow morning. But it's going to be for a very brief period of time. They're going to last very long, 8, 10, 12 hours for portions of the south coast and the southwest coast. So here's Futurecast. Now this still shows it going over Cape Breton Island, so we're going to keep a close eye on this overnight. Heavy rainfall into the Gulf of St. Lawrence by midnight. Very heavy rainfall across Nova Scotia and PEI by midnight. Outer rain bands lashing northeastern Newfoundland or northwestern Newfoundland rather tomorrow morning. And as that storm works up the coast tomorrow, we see most of the rain offshore working towards Labrador, but rain redeveloping across the southwest coast tomorrow night could be heavy at times. And as that low works up the coast, we'll get a brief period of high wind speeds right on the eastern side of that low as we go through tomorrow night, Sunday, and eventually later Sunday as it works offshore into Labrador. Parts of Labrador West are going to see some wet snow from this on Sunday. Rainfall highest in the southwest as high as 150 mils as we go north and east of there. Rainfall amounts not as impressive in Labrador, a widespread 25 to 50 millimeters as well. Eastern Newfoundland tonight, rain, 16 to 18 degrees. Winds picking up for the day tomorrow. Winds coming down. Highs near 20. Some sun on the Avalon as we go west. Mainly cloudy with the showery conditions and winds gusting on the Burin Peninsula, 80 to 100 in the morning. Western half of Newfoundland tonight. Lows in the mid-teens. Winds gusting as high as 40 early. They pick up rapidly late tonight and tomorrow. Winds along the west coast tomorrow gusting 110, 120 along the southwest coast. Again, winds gusting 130 plus, maybe 160 around the Port aux Basques area and that whole area of southwestern Newfoundland, kind of from La Poile all the way on up towards the Cape. As we look at the forecast in Labrador tonight, 0 to 5 for the overnight lows, and then for your day tomorrow, we're looking at highs 5 to 12 with some wet snow falling in and around Churchill Falls. Our 5-day forecast for eastern Newfoundland. Breezy Sunday, a few showers. Monday near 20, chances for rain Tuesday and Wednesday. For Central, breezy with a few showers on Sunday behind Fiona. Monday and Tuesday, quiet and mild. Chance of rain for Wednesday. For western Newfoundland, rainy and windy tomorrow. Lingering showers on Sunday. A quieter day Monday. Warmer for Tuesday. Risk of rain for Wednesday in Labrador. Warming up in the west through Wednesday. In the east, rain Sunday. A break Monday. And more rain showers Tuesday and Wednesday.